the state, whatever they are doing the things in such a way to avoid scams. You know this, right?
To avoid scams.
To avoid scams, that people cannot take advantage of the system.
Can I tell you
And
something?
yes, sure.
Daily, we used to receive emails from people that were scammed. What we did for the citizenship authority, for the immigration office, when we also saw that there was a permit that was fake, we always sent emails or requests. Look, this is a scam. Look, this is a scam. These are the companies doing the scam. This is what we found out. How many responses did we have from the Romanian authorities to this kind of situations?
How many?
None.
Surprise me.
None. Is there any interest into finding scammers? Maybe, but those that want to find scammers are too little to survive the system. I think they are working on this, but until now, nothing happened.
But as far as I know, that now the system is very strict.
Yes, it's that strict that now there is no workforce being brought to Romania. Companies are dying slowly, and nobody is thinking about the Romanian employers. Nobody is thinking about the fact that they need workforce and that the Romanians cannot fill the job positions. And from this point, what we've done, we drafted a memorandum that we are going to send to the immigration office in terms of changing the legislation for foreigners that are already here in Romania. Because we've noticed the following gaps. For instance, you consider a foreigner once he comes to Romania and you register his labor contract the same as a Romanian in terms of his rights, okay? And obligations.
Yes.
More or less. But these are mainly the same things. When a Romanian employee decides to terminate his contract with the Romanian employer, he has a notice of 30 days.
Yes.
In that notice of 30 days, not only is he allowed to find a new job, but he's also allowed to sign an offer.
Yes.
That means that for the Romanian person, he's covered in terms of today he ends the contract with one employer, and on Monday he starts with another employer. He doesn't have gap in between the contracts because the law allows him. What is this law in the same way applicable to foreigners? No. What is the legislator doing? I'm telling you. He's not allowing the foreigner to obtain a job or to apply for a new job during the notice. He's not allowing it because one of the documents that the foreigner is requested to apply in the immigration portal or website is termination of contract.
That's easier.
Exactly. So you are not allowed. In most cases, you need to find a job after the termination of the contract. Or even if you find a job prior to the termination of the contract, you cannot start the procedure. What happens is that now, and I'm only talking about the candidates that are already here in Romania and they have valid documents, okay? What happens is that they are not allowed to work for more than 3 months in between with the exchange of employer because the procedure nowadays takes 2-3 months to obtain new work permit, and only then you are registered the contract and then do the residence permit. It takes 2 to 3 months. It takes. Who is providing for that person during this time? I'm telling you what's happening. On the in practice, either they are working illegally, la negru, as we say, which we totally discourage, but in the end they are forced to do this because they cannot support themselves. The salaries are very low. Who is going to provide them for accommodation and food? Nobody cares. Okay, so for 2-3 months, these people, in their wait for the new documentation, they are forced to survive by themselves. They cannot work legally. They cannot receive money. They are not paid for accommodation. And this is creating a lot of abuses from our point of view. And the immigration office should think that the legislation that's currently in force is very old, is not applicable. Have you ever read in the legislation that regulates the immigration activities such as work permits, residence permits about the portal? Do you know what's the regime of the portal? What's the how can I say, the importance of the appointments that's made on the portal from the point of view of the law? There is nothing to link the portal to the law, okay? To the law that's applicable to work permits, residence permits, and to many more activities.
Because different teams are working on different departments, they do
Yes.
not communicate with each other, and there is a communication gap between them. So whatever they think is better
Yes.
for them, they're just putting it there.
So what I want to say is that the Romanian employers that not only suffer from the fact that nowadays the percentage of rejection of visas in the embassies is almost up to 90%, which is mind-blowing because they pay for work permits, they pay for taxes
Yes.
to the government, okay? And when these candidates go to the embassies to take the visas, they face rejection, 90% of them, and you don't have the possibility to appeal these decisions. At least not with a positive resolution in any way, because they are subjective, okay? Like they say, there is a suspicion of fraudulent entry into the country. Who can prove this is not a suspicious entry into the country?
Yes.
Or multiple things. I'm not saying all of them. Maybe who doesn't speak English? Okay, don't bring him. Don't allow him to obtain the visas. But my question is, how was it possible that last year they were accepted 90% of them, and this year only 10% became accepted? You know, it's strange. And it's all in the sense of Schengen and to show how much we are limiting. But this is harming the Romanian employers that lost business. They lost entire lines of production. They lost clients. They lost income, and they don't generate as much profit, meaning they don't pay that much taxes. So
Yes.
in the end, it's affecting also the government. And we thought, okay, so you affect the Romanian employers in the sense that you don't allow foreigners to come in the same time frame that they used to come. And now you are putting more than 8 months. Who's waiting 8 months for a person? We even had cases where people died or changed their minds in this process, okay? Nobody's waiting 8 months for a person to come.
8 months and then 1.5 year in
And then, yes.
the country where they
Yes.
have to get the visa. So 2
Yes.
years complete process these days.
These days, yes. So we thought, okay, a solution for our Romanian employers is that they need to take people that are already here, that they have valid documents, they want to earn more, which is a human right, okay? If you are hardworking and so on, you should be allowed to change jobs and be paid more, no matter of nationality. This is what non-discrimination means, right? And what they are doing is they limit the access into the workforce domain, even for the people that are already here. This is the sad part, because they should be allowed to apply online for the work permit exchange of employers during the notice. They would gain 1 month this way.
Yes.
Okay, and this would make a huge difference, because it's one thing to put a person to wait 1 month without being paid, and they should be able to support themselves. It's another one to put them 3 months or 2 months. That's why we have so many illegal people here in the country or working without legal papers.
Yes.